All right, welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And it's Wednesday, and it seems like it's been forever since we've had him on. And it's been a minute, Mav. But he's back from vacation. He made it through the border. I don't know if they had to use any like coyotes or smuggling equipment. I mean, how was it getting back through customs, AJ, after becoming a full Mexicano?
It wasn't too bad. There you go.
Jeez, that
Thanks,
is
Schlegs. Appreciate it. That's not loud at
hard.
all, Schlegs.
That's what he did. That's how he got.
Yeah,
That's
we
how he
flew
got
back.
over.
Yeah,
That's
we
how he got
put all
over.
the kids, all the kids on my back. Yeah, and we flew right over the border. But no, it was no real issues. We just assume always coming back into the country that it's going to be a mess and it's going to take forever. So if you go in with those expectations, anything better than that is a plus. So yeah, it was good.
So you said you're anticipating it being a mess. Like, did anything happen? I mean, you're traveling a great distance, I'm sure, with at least a connection. All of the kids going down, for what appeared to be about a week.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with another family. Like, how was the travel? And then, like, how was the issues with fights and everything down there?
Everything actually went surprisingly well. There was like 8-10 other couples with kids around my kids' age. Like, so all their friends basically were down there together, palling around. No real drama. I mean, it was two pretty good sized flights to get there. Other than, I mean, my kids just fart on planes so bad though, man. The flight home from Chicago, we had a connector from Chicago to Columbus, man, and that whole like hour-long flight was just death. And it was row 14 of all my kids. They were killing it.
I mean, do other people notice that? Do they look
They have
around?
to. They have to. They had to. You could definitely pinpoint, I think, around the row it was coming from, but I would just better my 9-year-old was sitting right in between me. And at one point I had like headphones and I just looked down on him. He was in the middle. I'm on the window. I looked down and he just kind of peered up at me with like a little grin because it smelled so bad. I'm just looked at him like that. Was that you again? And he just kind of smirked at me. And I thought like, man, we need to like come on and make an apology over the loudspeaker to these people.
I mean,
this is a PA announcement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the PA announcement, he's sorry. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, your wife, AJ, is always prepared. She is like always locked in. I mean, when are we going to start giving these kids like some Beano or something, before we get on the plane? Like some people take Dramamine, or maybe like one of our good friends who's besties with Laura. I mean, she gets nervous and anxious when she flies. So she's got a pill cocktail that help calm her down with some booze. Like maybe for the boys, it's like, hey, we're only going to eat some grilled chicken. And by the way, here's your Beano, and you're not allowed to do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea in theory, but good luck stopping them from farting when they feel it coming on. Like, I feel like that would have the opposite effect where they're like, okay, they're crying, mom and dad are trying to control our farts and everything we're doing. So we're going to go the other way. So they'll try to like probably eat some exotic foods they never eat to mess up their stomach just so they could prove a point, which, I'd have to respect if they did approach it that way, I guess.
Yeah, just watch this. Yeah, you got me to hold it in. Now I'm just gonna like violently explode
out my pants. Well, they were like my kids do always. My two youngest always have to go to the bathroom on the plane as like after even the flight attendants are sitting down and everyone's down and we're like on final approach. They seem to always scurry in there and have to go. That's like another thing. Like we've landed with them in the toilet before. Like yeah, it always happens.
That's amazing. Dude. Gosh, I love it.
Yeah, I am. I'm checking the group chat. Hey, I want to ask you this. You're on vacay. What was like one of the best moments out there? Was like there like a really good fun thing you did? Like what was that?
We did all the dads took the kids like in and not ATVs, but like side by sides, like the cool sand buggy cut type things, and we drove those all around the beach and up around the hills and everything. That was sweet. But we had a couple legit water volleyball games there at the resort with the adults and then some kids mixed in. Sometimes different kids that we didn't know would get mixed in, and they were a liability, so we had to cover them up. Make sure we're hitting shots. Said. Yeah, well, no, not that kind, kind of liability. But, they weren't exactly able. The water's like 4 feet deep, and just their heads popping up. They're not gonna add much value to us, to our volleyball team. So we gotta make them. We gotta accentuate what they do well. Maybe they could serve the ball over the net, so we let them serve a few times, things like that.
Okay. I like it, man. That's really good stuff. So we're back in school now. My worst day as a parent usually, and I'm not here for it anymore, but it's usually like the worst day in our house, is the first day the kids have to go back from vacation. How was that today, getting the kids like back off? I guess on Monday, getting them ushered back out of the house after just a week of chaos.
Yeah, it was no joke. They got, you going like when you're off school a few days, it feels like you haven't been there in 2 months, and they get out of that routine. So, and we had a 3-hour time change as well. So yeah, I would
Ooh.
say Sunday night going in, they try to let us know like, hey, I'm not waking up tomorrow. They tried to act like they weren't going to figure it out and all that. And, you know, it took a little bit of coaxing. We got them going. Like they all got to school on Monday on time, but yeah, they were battling. I'm sure like not only I think a lot of adults probably as well have a hard time getting back into their routine.
Yeah.
Hey, what
it's
about
hard.
what is your favorite thing right now? So like spring break is over, boom, you're getting back in the routine. Like what's moving on for you? Like, hey, we got a couple more months, then school's out there, we're gonna go do this, or do you really just want them to stay in school all the time because now you got a good routine? Because then if not, it's just chaos all throughout the day. Like, what are you looking forward to? Moving forward here after spring break.
Man, I'm looking forward to like these nice days and having nice weather again. Once we kind of get into the winter months, I think I tend to forget that we have warm weather here sometime. Like, oh, this is what it is year round. So when we've had a couple of these nice days, like we're out and about, obviously we're running around for sports and everything. That's trying to figure out the spring schedule and how we're going to get kids to and from everything. That's every parent's, what they're trying to figure out right now, I guess. But I just like when it's nice. Like I love spring. I'm not a huge heat of the summer, like the humid July and August. That's not my favorite time. I love the fall. I love the spring. So this is a great time. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be outside every day.
So I had a kid asking me in class. So I said, there are any questions the other day? I'm finishing up. We got like 3 weeks left of this semester. And occasionally there's a couple guys that, I don't know. I mean, they're dudes. And he asks, he's like, hey, I go, you have any questions about this? And he raised his hand. We were actually doing a case on a golf company that was being sold. And he raised his hand. He goes, how good? He goes, who's a better golfer, you or AJ? I was like, well, it's hands down AJ. He goes, well, how good is he? I go, I don't know. So when people ask me how good of a golfer, I've watched him, he wins long drives. I go, one of my favorite things is helping be like his wingman to help prepare him for the tournament every year out in Tahoe. So, I mean, I play some bad golf and he plays some decent to good golf. But when people ask how good you are, I mean, what's the appropriate answer that I should be giving them?
Yeah. What's your handicap? What's your GHIN?
Yeah, my handicap is that I'm very inconsistent on the golf course. I've never, I don't have a handicap. I've never like entered a score into the app or whatever you have to do. But I don't get out and play a whole lot of golf. I can hit at my house. I have a simulator in my basement. So that's like, I feel like my 54-degree wedge. That's what I feel like a surgeon with that thing. So that's all I hit down there. But that helps you play though, man. When you can hit around the green and chip and putt, which, like anything else, some days you putt okay, some days you putt terrible, but you referenced the tournament I play out in Lake Tahoe, the American Century Championship. Like that thing's awesome. I have fun. I've gotten better at least over the last 3 or 4 years. I had some years where I went backwards. I got worse from year to year. Now I'm at least getting better. But like a range of what I would shoot, I could say if I play very, very well, I could shoot 83, but I can also shoot 105. Like that's my range probably.
Wait, so you're hitting a 54 degrees. So like, is that your gap? Like, then you have like a sand wedge? Do you go all the way down to a 62? Because there's normal gaps there, right? So 54 is kind of like
I can already hear you. I can already hear the golf nerd Schleg's getting into it because Schleg's
that was a long time ago.
700 clubs and gets new driver every 6 months whenever they come out.
I don't play.
I know that's what I'm saying, but I know you love the equipment. I have a 54-degree wedge, and that's what I use for pretty much everything. And then what's a pitching wedge? I got a P wedge. What is that? 48 Schleg's?
Yeah.
So those are the two I use. I have a lob wedge. I don't like lob wedge. I like laying my 54-degree wedge down. I like being a little athletic. I got to work the club. I got to make it work.
You're working it. Hey, are you still like what clubs are you rocking? Like you just keep the same clubs for every year, and that's just what you do. Do you get them re-gripped? Did you get some stiffer shafts in there?
Oh.
Well, I broke my driver.
Do you like the stiff shafts? Like, do you like stiff shafts?
Have to.
You like
double extra
stiff.
Yeah, you have to. Like commercial grade extra stiff shafts is what I'm looking for when it comes to my driver. But no, my clubs I have, my irons are Titleist. And actually, you guys know we play in that Doug Dadish is following his golf event up at Avalon Lakes, I believe it's called, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, my group won, and they got us like a gift card to the gift shop. And they made me use it, and I got these Titleist irons. That might have been 12, 14 years ago, and I still use them. They're awesome. They feel great.
Gosh, that's pretty tremendous. We have any plans of making it down to spring ball at all? I know they got Student Appreciation Day this week. Maybe bring the kids in, and we got the I know that I think you've had them over in the past. After the spring game, they've got like the barbecue going on as well.
I want to. That's the thing. Like, yeah, we're just trying to figure out when we're going to be in town on weekends. That's for sure with the kids' sports they have coming up. But yeah, the last couple of years I got to take a couple of my kids to the deal where you get to see all the alumni guys come back, and then the current players there eating lunch and having a barbecue with their families. And Bob, you're always good about finding like an autograph, panel ball that my kids can take around and get signed. So yeah, I hope to do that again this year, honestly.
Wait, when you were let's talk a little bit about spring football. You go into spring, or the landscape of college football now, what has happened? You got the transfer portal in January, you got transfer portal in the spring. You got schools that are canceling their spring games. You got Ohio State they're still doing what they do because it's such a huge event. How did you approach spring football? And how do you think like coaches are approaching this and players are approaching this now that's different from that timeline, from that time frame of when you did it?
I mean, spring ball for sure. Like spring ball is a big deal. Your team can, didn't Coach Tressel say, like, you can't win national championship in the spring, but you sure as hell can lose it. Like if you don't go and do the right things and figure it out. It's probably a little different now with the whole transfer portal and all that situation. I mean, there's weird things where I think you don't want to showcase a young dude that people may not know about that's going to be hopefully a star for you. You don't want other teams coming trying to poach him. They see him have a great spring game or something. I think that's a whole situation now, but I don't know. I mean, I looked at it back in the day with the draft and everything we did. It was fun. I looked forward to going and actually playing in the stadium. Talk about a great time of year. Like if the weather was nice that day for your spring game, you get the game atmosphere, you get to play. And then, as you guys know, like the spring after the spring game, that's a great time as a college football athlete because you're just lifting weights, running, and you're a college student for a month or two and you get to enjoy yourself.
I remember we'd have those times, and it was like the times you talk about being nice. In May, you get a lot of nice days. April was always hit and miss. Like spring practice could be 70 and you're putting on sunscreen to not get burnt. It could be 45 degrees and it's freezing cold and you're trying not to get hypothermia if it's raining. So you've got that. But then in May, it'd be so nice. And you just lift, get out, work out, do the things that you want to do and feel like that normal student. It was really kind of like the best of everything. And you get to go out, have some fun, and maybe have a couple of cold pops and hang out. It's interesting as we started talking about the spring game age, and it would have been, I guess, 2003, so 25 now. Yeah, maybe 2004. 24 would have been 21 years ago, AJ, that this happened. That the Saturday would have been the equivalent, like last Saturday during the spring, after the second Saturday, that there was the infamous eye incident with Schlegs and the fight and everything that went on. And I told that story to Beam and he absolutely loved it. I think Schlegs has kind of told his version of it. As you remember the time that I got my orbital
It was 2003. It was 2003 because I've only been on campus for like a month.
Okay, so you came in 03. That's right. You got redshirted. So it's been 22 years. I just want you to think about how long that's been. And my eye has yet to fall out of my head. So that's a big deal. Still hanging tough, okay? Still.
I know you do have active. I know you definitely still have to use your little prism thing that you had to look through for like the first 2 years after you did it?
Not 2 years. It was about like 5 months.
Retrain your eye to work.
I had to figure that guy. Listen, dude, he was just a little slow. But
and then you're wearing shades. You're wearing shades at spring ball every single day, but because you obviously had to because your eye almost got knocked out of your head. But yeah, that was a good time. Look at you now, Bob. Look how far.
Look at you. Look at him. Look at him.
Well, the best part, I went into, not the best, but I went into my Russian literature class. I'll never forget. I think it was Monday after class. The first class I had, it was, probably 8:30, 9:30, something like that. And I've got my sunglasses on, and she was really nice. And I participated a lot. We were talking about like Dostoevsky, or maybe like your guy, Kameshnikov, AJ. Yeah. And I have my sunglasses on, and she like gives me like the tip them down. And like, I'm like, I look at her and I drop them down, and she was like, ready to
pop them back up.
Put them back up, big dog. But I had a problem. Like I had that double vision. I could not look out the top of like the frame of my eyes. And so I'd be taking notes. I have to write and then go like this, right? And then go like that and keep moving my head. And it was hard to play linebacker, dude. I mean, I was legitimately worried that I wasn't going to be able to play right again because I get that double vision. Now it only happens when I drink a little bit and I'm like trying to shoot pool, looking long ways. But it was
That's
real
when you know
dangerous.
you've had too much. Like that. Honestly, I was setting you up for success. Like Steph knows, my left eye, I got something dropped on my face like when I was in high school, and when my left eye starts to get droopy, she's like, it's over, Schlegs. Like no more spicy marks. No more spicy marks for you. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, look at your left eye. I'll look at it, like it's just kind of hanging there. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't control it anymore. That's your deal. That's what it is now.
So
you're welcome, Bob. You said you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
I guess. You know what? I really appreciate it. Well, I love telling the story about how, I go in to save Schlegs. I'm much faster than you. So I got there significantly ahead of when you were able to arrive. And I don't know if that's just by desire or by, just sheer speed or whatever it was. But I do remember after I got blasted, looking up and you having this dude kind of like reach her like up off the ground and then blasting him across the face. And he's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, how about that guy? And you're like, if his face hurts half as bad as my hand, he's dead. And I'm like, it sounds pretty good to me. I mean, as you drug me out of there.
I put you by a tree, though. I remember we got you. We like, like almost dead man dragged you back. I posted you up. I posted you up against this big old tree over there. And I was like, hold on, stay right here. I gotta go see which legs and the rest, what's going on. And I run back, and it was like a ghost town, and everybody had vanished, and Schlegs started chasing him in his truck and pulling up on random people trying to find out who that was. So, and then we got you back to the dorm, and then eventually to the hospital.
Do you remember when we walked in? And Schlegs is there chasing ghosts and fighting, like kicking in random doors, like Doc Holliday and by the way, before we get going, we walked into Morrill Tower. And I think like Santonio and Troy were sitting there. Yeah. And you would have seen my face. I can only imagine what it looked like. But I know when I looked at their faces, what they thought was going on. And it was, I think they thought I'd been shot right in the head.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing their faces, see you when we came in there. And then I remember seeing my dorm room. I gave you a little ice pack and something, try to hold it over your eye for the blood. And then luckily, my RA, we brought her in, and she had, cooler heads prevailed, and she said, we got to get to the hospital because it looked like a murder scene with how much you were bleeding in my dorm room, too.
Hey, it was all I know is from the surprise of everybody, it was probably like the same when I walked into like Independence Hall, and I just had just huge wangers all over my face. Did not know that.
Save that story, though, for the summer.
I'm just saying, that's the summer where we'll reminisce there. Hey, AJ, have you seen the movie Iron Claw?
The wrestling movie with Zac Efron.
Who was jacked in that, by the way.
No, is it new or old?
It's probably 3 or 4 years.
Oh no, is that the one he got jacked for? And he's like, he looks different now.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's good. Oh, it was actually good. Okay, I haven't seen it.
Really good. But you know what though? Like Bob and I were talking about, we're sitting at the sauna at the Armory, and we were going on about it. And then last night, Hunter was like, "Hey, let's watch a movie." I'm like, "Cool." And we were going through like Warrior, and like there's like another fighting one, and there's like the Iron Claw. I was like, dude, put the Iron Claw on. It's like, I heard it's like really sad. I was like, yeah, Bobby told me it's super sad. I know what it was. I was like, I grew up in that area. They're from Dallas. Like I remember watching. I went to one of those. So it was really good. But you know what? Like the moral of the story was like, and I think it. One, Bob, you have brothers, AJ. I don't. Bob does. I got some friends that are like brothers, but it's also the fact of the brotherhood of like, you just miss being around your guys, right? Like just doing things. And obviously that brotherhood within your family is so real, but it's an emotional movie. So you should check it out for sure.
It's good.
Okay.
It's a lot, dude. You're going to need at least a drink or two during it. Maybe a whole handle, to tell you the truth. I was not prepared for it when I watched. I thought it was going to be early wrestling, Ric Flair, big city, jet riding, Rolexes, cocaine, and chicks. And that's why they said it's not good for kids. It's really not good for kids because you would have to watch your kid the rest of their life and just think about just the sadness of what it could be. Before we get you out of here, Val Kilmer passed away. And R.I.P. Doc Holliday passing away on April Fool's.
Iceman.
The Iceman. Your favorite parts about the guy Val Kilmer?
Well, I mean, the dude is unbelievable. Like his range is off the charts. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember when he was on he popped up in Entourage for an episode or two.
Yeah.
He was like the shaman weed dealer guy who was amazing. People didn't even recognize him. He had long hair and beard. Like what the guy can do. And obviously Top Gun. I mean, as Iceman, that was the peak of everything, I feel like. But I mean, come on now, Doc Holliday, you got to be kidding me. The guy should have won. He didn't win any awards for that, did he? He probably should have if he didn't.
The scene, I'll tell you this before you go. The scene where he's playing the piano in the lounge, he's like, Frederick effing Chopin.
Is that old dog Trey?
That old dog Trey.
That's old dog Trey.
I was reading today on this. First of all, Val Kilmer went to the Juilliard School for acting. I mean, he's basically like high level, as good as you can get. But he didn't even know how to play the piano. They said he learned only how to play that song. And that was like the extent of his musical skill, which I don't even know how that's possible.
He's an artist, man. He's an artist. Yeah, we lost a good one. He was only 65 too. I know he had some issues, but yeah, he was the man for many, many years. They're not going to make another guy like him. We know that.
No, he's the best. AJ, you're the best, and that's why we're going to let you go hang out with Pat and do some pumping with Pat. I think is what it's called.
Damn. There you go.
Tell Pat I'm excited to see him down at WrestleMania. He's going to take.
Oh, the Ghost in the Darkness was an elite one.
Yes, Ghost in the Darkness. We'll get into more of those stories. We got AJ out of here. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
See you guys.
We got more. He's got to do other stuff, man. We got more coming up on the Bobby Carpenter Show after this. All right, Buckeyes, Slugs, we've got some good stuff going on here for you. Ghost in the Darkness, that's with him, and who else is in that with him? Val Kilmer.
There's a guy that had glasses. I don't know.
It was just great. Is it Dustin Hoffman that's in that with him?
I don't remember. Now I'm looking it up. Ghost.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. He's in Heat, and he's not the lead in a lot of those, but he's in a lot of other stuff as well. Oh, there you go. Who we got? I can't even see that on here. My screen's too small. Oh
no! Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is in it. So those guys are co-leads in that. It was really good. But Val Kilmer, one of the best, man. Doc Holliday out there, Slugs. I have not yet begun to defile myself.
So many lines.
Playing the piano, pretending to be drunk while not knowing how to play the piano. He just learned how to play that song. So unbelievable thing out of him. What else is unbelievable, Schlegs? As you were looking at some different stuff, there was a safety that was recruited. And listen, recruiting, I don't like to get too deep in the weeds in this. And we're going to have like a bigger contextual conversation about this and what it all means, because I don't want to like talk about it. But if you want to throw up there I don't know which one I put in, one of the one's better than the other as far as what it tells you. But Ohio State got a commitment out of Blaine Bradford. All right, 5-star safety, pretty awesome, very, very special. Obviously, you want to get great
out players. Of where? Out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so this is what it is. The fact that he's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. For those of you that don't know, Baton Rouge, Louisiana is where Louisiana State or LSU is located. And so that would be like losing a kid from Columbus, Ohio to an Alabama or a Georgia. Because not only did you lose him, you pulled him away from LSU, but like you've got Bama, you got Georgia, you've got a lot of other SEC schools. Texas does pretty well in Louisiana, and you were able to pull him away from all of those other schools. And so why this is important to me, I told Matt Guerreri, and they can't comment on these. We're talking to Ryan Day on my radio show about this. You can't comment on this stuff until they're actually signed, which now they like sign and then just enroll, so they're there anyway. But he couldn't comment on it. But Matt Guerreri, you look at he's the youngest dude on the defensive staff. You got Tim Walton, OG, who's been on there with us. Laurinaitis has been on here with us. Larry Johnson's been a coaching legend, been coaching forever. And then you got Matt Patricia over there, obviously, as a D coordinator, 3 Super Bowls. And Matt Guerrieri, like, and you heard Ryan Day hype him up. Like, this dude's going to be a star. He's going to be a coaching star. He's smart. He understands it. He communicates it well. And now you see him land a guy like this. And I'm sure it was a combo of him and Tim Walton. They kind of co-recruit that defensive back room. But he is the safeties coach. And so for him to land a guy like this out of Baton Rouge, number one, it has to be a gut punch to the Tigers. But I think that speaks to, like, as I'm wearing my purple for him today too, but that has to speak to the type of guy that he is and the developed here. He said he came here, Schleiks, because this is the place that he thought he could get developed the best.
Yeah, it literally says Ohio State is the best place for my development and for my future. And I think that when you're coming in and you're seeing what transpired, and it's the totality of it, guys, boys and girls, right? It's a guy in Jordan Hancock that could be a nickel guy that could also play safety, and look at what it did for him in his career. Now, this guy's a 5-star guy, top 25 guy in the entire class, number one safety. And you also have Lathan Ransom and what Lathan did. And Lathan is a bigger type guy. Like, this kid is, I think he's 6'2", 205. Like, he's a big dude at safety. And then you got Caleb Downs, arguably the best football player in college football, at the safety position. And again, as you think about it, Caleb will be gone, right? He's a junior. Boom, he's out. I could step in. I'm going to get those reps. I'm going to be an early guy that comes in. I also got to compete with the guys that are there. But look at what they're doing and developing in that program. And if you're a kid like we were, and I think people don't talk enough about this, regardless of where you're from. When I played linebacker in Dallas, Texas, the one thing I knew about Ohio State football was silver bullet defense and linebackers. And there's that iconic thing of Andy Katzenmoyer, neck roll, mirrored visor in the shoe, Bob. You know it very well. Everybody knows it well. As you're going and you're watching, right, the USA Today, All-American high school team and where they're going from Westerville, Ohio, and he's going to Ohio State. And you're like, man, I love that guy's game. Like, that resembles me. I would love to be a part of that, that aura, that I don't know, that mystique, right, in that room. That also plays a pivotal role. And that developed here is significant and just helped this. But the national reach of Ohio State football to selectively go and acquire the best talent and positions, regardless of where they are, regardless of who the front runner is a key testament to Ryan Day, the culture, the players, and the coaches, and how they develop and have relationships with these athletes.
It's huge, man. It is incredibly big.
They're paying him what LSU was paying him. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, they're not going to overpay. That's not how the Buckeyes do it. Like they said, and NIL is like the last thing that they worry about. That's why guys talk about being developed here. It's working through the development process of, hey, we're going to coach you hard. You get to see the presentations that Mickey Marotti puts up all the time. Yeah. Is we're not going to apologize for coaching hard. Ohio State is different than other places, and it might not be for you, and that's okay. That's all right. It's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to come here, be prepared to work, be prepared for us to try to improve you. And you may get here and say it's not for you, and that's all right. But if you want to be challenged, if you want to get better, we're going to surround you with like-minded people who get after it just as much as you do, who have the same velocity of life as you do. And, I talked to some of the recruits and their parents, and it's awesome because I don't have to, they want to go into business school. And I talked to them about the business school. I talked to them about Columbus, the economic development that's going on in Columbus, potential, NIL investing. And then I ultimately tell them, like, what Ohio State, like, you have any questions? Like, let me tell you what Ohio State's done for me. And me personally, like with my family, with my career, with my NFL future, the connections, the knowledge, the football, all of the human development. And, the one of the kids, like these kids' dads, some of them play college football. And so they get it. I'm like, you're in a vibrant city that you're going to be developed, and the alumni base is awesome. And when they see, like, I'm out there talking to James and Hartline and Maurice Claret's there, and I'm like, yeah, I played with all these guys. Like, there's guys that come back. It's a big deal. Devin Jordan's there. Like, there's a lot going on. And Schleiks even pops in sometimes, just pops out when the time is right. there's a lot of good stuff going on. And so that right there, when you say like developed here, they focus on the totality, the holistic development of the person far more than they do at other schools. And that has become the selling point. And that is also why, Schlegs, you look at the quality of human being that they get here. That's where I think Ohio State has begun to separate themselves. And they've got a critical mass now where everybody's a good dude. So, like, we don't have to take a chance on a guy that's a bad guy. Everybody here comes in, they work, they know we're going to coach their butt off. And you know what? Hey, if you realize that you can't play here, or don't think you can, or there's other opportunities, let's have a conversation about it. And, you know, maybe this isn't it for you, but I challenge you always to stay. And we didn't recruit you if we didn't think that you could do it. It's just going to be a function of how committed are you to the totality of the process. And so that's a big piece of it. All right, Schlegs, we're going to put a pin in that. I want to tell you about our friends over at Export, those Schlegs. Parents, athletes, listen up. Protect what matters most with Export mouth guards. They're trusted by professional athletes and designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including the patented use of carbon fiber, custom fit to your own unique smile. They're 3D printed in there to your own grill. Looks good. That means more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication. So you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby to save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Buckeye Breakdown, a little Tuesday practice. We'll talk about that next here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back in here to the Bobby Carpenter Show. Schlegs has no shirt on. Trapezosaurus.
Hey, no.
Hey,
Here's what transpired. So I got Sam Hill. What in the Sam Hill Dickens is going on? But he apologized. I need to apologize.
It's Sam Williams Dickens.
Yeah, it's Sam Williams Dickens. But this is Sam Hill in the group chat. He's like, hey, I need to apologize the other day. I said you were slouching, but now I realize you're not slouching. Your trapezius mounds on the other side of your neck. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go slide on. I'm in Florida. I got my tank tops here. So I just went and just slid these on just for you guys to understand that I'm not slouching. I actually have really good posture because I train my upper back really hard. And yeah, there you go. Trapezosaurus, man. The world's largest prehistoric land animal.
The Trapezosaurus.
Diet consisted of shrugs and protein. That's it, man. Pretty simple. And this is what happens, getting bumpy.
You get some farmers walks in there too for a nice static hold.
Oh my gosh. The other day, like I was just going into it, like looking up like old school Ronnie stuff and Josh Bryant, my dude. And I was like, we were in there with Cade and this guy named Jared who played at Cincinnati and West Virginia, good kid, linebacker. He's going into the draft. And I'm like, you know what? Let's change it up. Cause me and Stover, like he doesn't need to, I'm like, Stove, you don't need to go as heavy as I do, bro. So I put on like 675 and straps and I'm shrugging and stuff. And I was like, hey, let's just grab the 150s and do like side leaning, just like, let's get them full range of motion, 150s just on the side. He's like, how many? I was like, till it falls off, you know? So I'm like hitting like 30 of them, just eating them, feeding them.
That's pretty nice. Like that's a pretty robust situation you've got going right there. I don't even know why you felt the need to leave the tank top on, although the tank top, the little beater does accentuate.
That's what I'm saying. They don't even stay up there. They don't even stay up there.
I wish I could do that. I've gotten to the point now where my neck is starting to hurt when I do any type of row, press, or pull. So it's getting dicey.
You gotta come see me. You gotta come see me, man. Yeah, come see me.
I got some stuff for you. I've been getting in the
Well,
hyperbaric chamber a lot. I feel that helps me a little bit, but I need to get some
get you
more
in the
stuff.
art bed. Get you in the art bed, and also I got some
I
really
need
good
to go
stability
see.
shit.
I need to go see AJ's PT and my man Jamie, and he'll fix me up. He's
Jamie's
always
amazing.
on my neck. Yeah, well, it's because I've got 3 compression fractures back there, and it doesn't always feel good for me. But Schlegs, getting done. Like looking at
Let's go.
spring practice on Tuesday.
Come on.
Spring practice on Tuesday. You know, what are you trying to get done? You're getting past the midway point. You've kind of got a lot of your stuff, and I would say probably 65 to 75% of what you package wise is kind of in now, probably for offense and defense. You'll do game plan specific things for certain teams, but they've got, your third down that's in. You've got a lot of your red zone. I don't know if they put goal line, and they've got some short yardage, which, and they're going to be some more diversity and obviously what you call just in your general first and second down plays. They start doing some move the field stuff. And so I always love that because it forces the coordinator Schlegs to call. You don't have a script. And so you start off first and 10. So they go one group and it's drive till you stop them, or you stop by the end zone, one of the two things, or a turnover. And so you get to watch the interaction of the players where usually you're going to an isolated situation where, hey, we're working all first and second down stuff, or we're working screen stuff, or we're working third and medium, third and long, third and short, red zone, coming out, all these special situations. Well, now that's all comprised in move the field because, hey, we'll start on the 35. Maybe we'll start on the 10-yard line coming out. Maybe we start at the 50. You get a first down. Maybe you get a chunk play. I can start working on all of that stuff. And so the players have to adjust to what's going on. But then also, Schlegs, the coaches are forced to call it both sides, Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline, like you're calling a real game. And it's fun to watch, like what you can put in with the older guys and how you can call it versus what the young guys can potentially handle.
Yeah, 100%, Bob. And that's part of when you're scripted in an area, there's no the game of football is condensed. When you're moving the field, and it's like, all right, was that a first down? Yes or no? Is it third and short? And they're just placing the ball. So now it's putting pressure on the coordinator. And that's exactly what you want to see. You got two guys that are first-time coordinators at Ohio State. Right? I mean, Brian was there obviously before, but like Matt P., how's he going to adjust? What does that look like? And I'm talking about not necessarily for the players, but like more to Ryan Day, right? Like this is his first real taste of like even watching him go through this process. And Matty P., and again, guy's a pro, so no big deal. But for your guys, and now that you got 75%, like you articulated, Bob, in there, it's the ability to put all those together because there's calls like, hey, man, we're in the red zone. We ain't ever calling that play, right? We know that we're not doing that. All of a sudden, boom, and we haven't done that. We haven't done that particular call in maybe 4 practices, 3 practices. Now I got to go back and recall it on the fly, down in distance, personnel, what my job is, how I communicate, what are all my little checks that I have on the end of it? How are those applicable to me in real time? Like these are the practices where the guys that have the highest football acumen start to show out and separate a little bit because they're able to play really fast because it's not a situational thing. It's move the ball. Really fun.
Absolutely. All right. That's it for this. Coming up next, we got our headlines. Who's the Silver Bowl of the day from Tuesday? Find out next. Welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show, and now it's time for our headlines. And we've got the Silver Bowl of the day. And I do love this, how it juices the spring up a little bit, juices up camp where you're not playing a game, so you need something to kind of look forward to. And they do the Silver Bowl of the day. And this week from Tuesday, there's Silver Bowl of the day, Schlegs. Oh, it was Malik Hartford. And it's great to see that out of Malik because he was a young guy, came in, played a little bit early on. Then Caleb Downs plays last year. He doesn't play as much. Lathan stayed healthy. He came in for Lathan when he got hurt 2 years ago. And it's great to watch him begin to fill out as a dude, get bigger and thicker because I always joke. I mean, he's on the sandwich squad. Anytime he comes around, just mother bird and feed him a sandwich. But now his play is starting to look like his physical ability. He's a smart guy. He gets it. And he's starting to make some plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love Malik. I think I retweeted this too, but he's one of those ones where I think his freshman year he had a shoulder, and then you have some guys that step up, stay healthy to what you mentioned, Bob, and you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and that's kind of his mentality. And then really had a really good offseason, just kind of talking to the coaches, looks solid, right? Like, I mean, again, some guys come in and just adapt because they've never hit the stimulus before. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer because his frame is longer. Like, he has a long, lean type frame. So getting that density, takes a little bit of time. He definitely looks like he's got that now. I asked him, I was like, how do you feel? He's like, dude, I feel great, man. It's like, this is the best I felt in a long time. And it's awesome because now when you're a little bit older, you're kind of figuring out like what Lathan has to figure out. It's like, when do I got to go deliver a hit? When do I got to go make a tackle? And now I'm also the guy because you're getting more reps because Caleb might be out and Jalen's in there. And it's like, boom. The good thing about it is that we're all getting all those reps, and I have somebody else that I can talk to on the sideline. It's like, hey, here's what I'm seeing. And it's good for him, man. And I'm excited because you don't want to always make it about the linebackers. You don't always make it about the D-line. Like last year we had 4 just bona fide dudes on the D-line. It was always like, those guys, or Cody was the guy every single week. But the back end is full of dudes. And we lost some dudes, man. We lost some dudes in Jordan and Lathan and Denzel. So now it's time for these guys to step up. We already talked about Jermaine earlier in a couple shows ago, but good for him, man. We need this. Buckeye defense, Silver Bullet defense needs this.
Absolutely. Well, that ends this edition of Headlines. We got our tailgate talk. We're answer your questions coming up from Real Truck next. All right, welcome into our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends over at Real Truck. Schlegs, go to realtruck.com, bring your truck, Jeep, Bronco to life at Real Truck. All right, Schlegs, question for you from Steely Matt. Are you moving back to Ohio? You may have some breaking news for the folks.
No, I'm not breaking news, Bob. Yeah, we're moving back, man. I got a farm in Circleville, and
you're in contract on a house. Are you?
We're in contract on a house, man. That's what we're doing. We're doing it, man. We're doing the thing. So, we're all in Columbus, total God thing, and house was off the market, came back on the market. I'm like, poof, David Copperfield. That's exactly. Matter of fact, when I moved to Columbus the very first time in 2011, when I took the job. And we couldn't get a house because we didn't know what was going on because trust left. You don't know if you're going to stay there. So I'm living in Old KG Commons.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, got my wife pregnant while you're there. Nothing to do when you're just in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? Charges to win it. But I remember we were looking at houses, and this one house in Worthington was off the market. We're like, oh, I really missed that boat. And then boom, it came back on, and then we got it. Kind of the same thing with this one. It's like it was off the market, came back on. And I just went over there and I can see things. That's probably one of the things. I can see what it could look like. My wife struggles with that a little bit. I was like, listen, I got you. But when you go through these evaluations and stuff, I just a little glimpse into what it was. It was, what is the quality of life that we have? How do we build in more family time? We love God, love people, share Christ, serve others, right? That's what we do. So I need proximity. We need time. I can't be driving in the car for 2 hours a day. We understand that. But the impact that we could have in and around Columbus, Ohio, it's where we need to be. So that's why we did it, and we got it, and here we go. Attack and dominate. Go Bucks. Be cancer.
All right, Schlegs.
There was another good one
from Phil J. You said that's a great question.
Yes, come on, talk about it.
What was the hardest workout you've ever done, college, pro, or just?
You go first. Because I already got mine.
Well, why don't you go first so I can think about it?
All right, you think about it. So, hey, Rob Sargent, I love your last name. I salute you. I appreciate it, sir. Hardest workout ever had. Go back and look up either Branch Warren or Metroflex leg day. I kid you not, hardest workouts I've ever had in my entire life. They're about an hour and a half to an hour, 45 minutes of straight legs. And literally we would start with a set of 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, drop set to 100 on leg extensions. And then we'd start squatting. And then we'd squat, and then we'd go to leg, and that would go to like a failure. Then we go to leg press at like volume, and then now we go to failure. Then we go to like a hack squat, boom, 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 failure. And then we go to like start hitting hamstring stuff. And then we just blow those out. And then we go outside and do just sled drags until you almost vomited because there was like a drainage ditch. Well, I don't know if there was fecal matter in there or not, but it would just smell terrible because it's 110 degrees outside. It's 105 degrees in the gym. Hands down, hardest, probably most missed workouts that I ever took place in. It's why every time I go back to Texas, I say, hey, Brian. And Brian's 69 years old now. I was like, Brian, what are we doing? He's like, legs. I said, fantastic. Let's go.
Bumpy. We had said some of like our 6 a.m. winter conditionings were pretty tough. And that was a combination of like, plyometrics, eccentric, stuff like that, and just the explosive, all those different things. We do the ROTC stuff at the beginning of them, Schlegs. You remember that? But probably like you go, those big time leg workouts, we would have them in high school. We call,
oh my gosh,
our coach would call them man makers. We put 225 on the bar, and it was just, rep out till you can't rep anymore. 2 other guys would go, and then you'd go again, and then you'd go again. You'd go like 3 to 5 times. It was really more, could you get to your 5th set? And your reps were at the beginning, Schlegs, you're in like the 40s. And then by the last one, you're like dying to get, 10. So it was wild. And those were tough because you'd walk out of there and your legs would feel like you just crapped Jello down them. So it was brutal.
We had some great ones at Ohio State on leg day. Cause then remember Al Jiggity would then, and I would dog cuss Al Jiggity to his face because then we'd go outside and run. Remember this, Bob? We go run like cut 300s after we just got done. After we just got done squatting like 585 for 5 and stuff. I'm just
Buckeyes. All right.
What the Sam Dick? I'm like locking up terrible.
All right. Well, that's good. We're gonna. You're slowing down. We're gonna wrap up the show here. We got parting thoughts with maybe Schlegs, maybe me coming up next.
The Big Play Sports Network. Download the free app today to watch all of your favorite hosts on demand.
All right, parting thoughts. Schlegs is over there wearing a tank top, so he's breaking the computer screen and can't get it done. I'll tell you this. We got Student Appreciation Day on Saturday, so students, get on out there, support everybody. Brian does a great job opening up. Urban started doing it. And then, folks, try to get out to the spring showcase. Make plans. I know it's going to rain for the next 5 days, but next weekend it's supposed to be nice. So let's get out there. And if you want to go to a great event, Saddle Up would be tremendous. So we're going to keep pumping it here from now until the end of the week. Ryan Day, they've got tables available, tickets, and it's a lot of fun. You get to see some of the current players, former players, and just people out there, coaches having a good time. But that's it for this edition, Bobby Carpenter. We got Bill Bender coming up tomorrow. We'll preview the Final Four, talk a little bit about last weekend and some of the stuff going on in college football. So stay locked in right here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.